instead of listening to you guys. You know, all that stuff you write about how good we are and all that stuff they hear on ESPN, it's like poison. You know what I mean? It's like taking poison, like rat poison.
Hurts after the play fake, dumps it off in the flat, and it's a touchdown. Hurts running away from the pressure, and he leaps into the end zone for an Oklahoma touchdown. Jalen Hurts picks up right where Mayfield and Murray left off.
We're going to treat every game the same. We'll let y'all talk about the rat poison of it.
It's early, but some pretty impressive Week 1 numbers from QBs hoping to capture this year's Heisman. Oklahoma's Jalen Hurts led all signal callers with a total QBR just under 97 in a 49-31 win over Houston. Meanwhile, Clemson's Trevor Lawrence struggling out of the gate. Just one pass TD to 2 interceptions. And we now welcome in SEC Nation analyst and former LSU Tiger, Marcus Spears. Marcus, what's up? Glad you're here.
What's up? Y'all look good this morning.
Oh,
So do you, big fella? Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Everyone came ready today.
I know. Max was saying Damian wore a tie today, so.
Yeah. Yesterday. Marcus, he really thought I was a substitute teacher yesterday. Came in, dressed like a Batman villain. Open collar, cufflinks, no tie.
The disrespect. The disrespect.
I know.
All right, well, Max, I'll start with you. Should Jalen Hurts be the clear-cut the favorite for the Heisman Award?
No, he's in a great situation. He had a great first game. And the interesting thing to me about Lincoln Riley is we'll see if this holds up as we see all these prospects come into the league. But to me, it looks like it's not just that Lincoln Riley makes them kind of temporarily better. He might make these dudes permanently better. Like, they may just be better players because they have him as a coach. I think a lot of him. He's really influenced the NFL. But no, I can't say he's the clear-cut favorite. I know Trevor Lawrence had a bad game. But even in the bad game, he showed you the thing. We talked a lot about Roethlisberger earlier and comparing him to Carson Wentz. He throws a pick six, not so fast, right? When Roethlisberger did that, that was in the Super Bowl. He throws a pick six, no, he then goes and makes a play in the open field. Trevor Lawrence got that stuff in him. Trevor Lawrence got the. I took Clemson to beat Alabama with Deshaun Watson because I thought Deshaun's the best player on the field, and by hook or by crook, he's going to get it done in the end. It's exactly what happened. Trevor Lawrence got that Deshaun Watson in him, got that Ben Roethlisberger in him, but he's much more accurate, much more talented as a passer. This dude has everything: size, arm, accuracy, quick processing, everything you need. And he's making tackles in the open field to stop the touchdown. Like, until proven otherwise, I got my money on the blue chip thoroughbred. That's Trevor Lawrence. He's going to win the Heisman.
I got to go with Jalen Hurts. Listen, you're talking about an offensive mind in Lincoln Riley who's taken, over the past couple years, 2 transfers, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray in back-to-back years. Oof. And turned both of those guys not only into Heisman Trophy winners, but into the number 1 player in the NFL draft. Listen, the reason that Jalen Hurts even had transferred over, because he basically was a running quarterback at Alabama. Think about how Nick Saban had to play ball. He played it with great defense and a guy who was essentially a running quarterback. All right? Once he ran up against Clemson, it just became a situation where it's like, okay, it's not good enough to just be having that type of quarterback. We need a guy in Tua that can exploit these teams with his arm. So he now transfer to Oklahoma, and right out of the bat, he puts together the best performance that they've had since he's had at the quarterback position. Are you kidding me?
Go back to last year when he came in for Tua. He played great.
Absolutely.
Max, I'm so disappointed in you. I mean, I'm just so disappointed in you and this Trevor Lawrence soliloquy. We had the argument last year, and I got to admit, you were right. He balled out against Alabama. But I told you, I don't believe in quarterbacks until I see him do something. I've seen Jalen Hurts do a lot. Look, we can talk about whether Jalen Hurts can go downfield, whether he was a great passer. Jalen Hurts went to a national championship at Alabama and took him and got him into the college football playoff in another one. So we're not having a conversation about if Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback for college, right? Let's get the league out of our mind when we start talking about this. Jalen Hurts is absolutely the clear-cut favorite for the Heisman. For all of the things you guys said, and also I want to bring another element into it. Do you know what conference he plays in? He plays in the Big 12. You know what they don't do in the Big 12?
Play
defense. All right? So you couple Lincoln Riley with that. You couple the fact that none of these games are going to be too big for Jalen Hurts. He's played in the biggest games that you could ever play in a career, and actually should have delivered a win to Alabama against Clemson in his first national championship when he took off and ended with a touchdown. But Deshaun Watson and his greatness. And also, Max, I'm going to use one of your points against you. Deshaun Watson was the best quarterback in college football and did not win the Heisman. You know why? Because he had a tougher road to get there. And there was already this Alabama idea that Derrick Henry should have been the guy to win the Heisman.
Marcus.
Jalen Hurts is going to continue to compound 500 and 600
Yeah, he's
yard
going to put up
games.
crazy numbers.
He's going to be the clear-cut favorite.
That's right.
Here's the thing that I think you're failing to see about Trevor Lawrence. You know, Paul Feinbaum, yesterday, 2 days ago, said that Notre Dame should be like permanently eliminated from playoff contention because of the way Alabama put it on them. And you know what he means. It's like, come on, man, put up some resistance. They lost by 27. Trevor Lawrence beat Alabama by 28.
Yep.
So Deshaun Watson beat Jalen Hurts. It came down to the wire, and it took a miracle play. And Deshaun Watson has that thing that makes his teammates believe, and just barely by the skin of their teeth, they beat Alabama. Trevor Lawrence, as a freshman, got on the field and beat the brakes off him. So does Alabama play defense? Because it just doesn't matter. Trevor Lawrence had one bad game, and people are writing off his Heisman chances. You know what this kid's about to do the rest of the season? Did you watch him last year in the championship game?
Listen. With Trevor Lawrence, Clemson, the only other really big game that he got is the one upcoming against Texas A&M. So he's not going to have many more opportunities to really kind of showcase to people voting for the Heisman, like, I'm really, truly deserving of that, because they got so many ballers around him. Listen.
Let me tell you something.
That boy Jalen Hurts playing in the Big 12.
Let me tell you something,
He's going to be putting up huge numbers.
Jalen Hurts is a great week. Jalen Hurts is going to be there, of course.
When we start having Heisman conversations, it's the guys that hold on to it and don't let go. If you guys go back to last year, Tua was the favorite for the Heisman all the way until he got to those tough games at the end of the season where we saw him tail off. Or it would have been no question. It wouldn't have mattered about Trevor Lawrence's performance against Alabama because the Heisman is obviously voted on before that. But even to the point of Trevor Lawrence being cold, which I think he is. I think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback. But now Trevor Lawrence is digging himself out of a hole when we start talking about Heisman.
Ohio State has a guy under center who doesn't have to dig himself out of a hole. I mean, there are more candidates, too.
Hey, I guarantee you this. Jalen Hurts ain't got to see Penn State. Jalen Hurts ain't got to see Michigan. He don't have to deal with what all of these other quarterbacks are going to have to deal with, man.